You're watching NRATV. And now, We Stand with Dan Bongino.
Yes, you are watching NRATV, and We Stand with Dan Bongino. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the social media shares, Twitter, Facebook of our content here, mine specifically. I love it that you help out the rest of the network too, but I check this stuff out. I go on, I have this mentions app. It's real cool. If you all tweet about me or the show, I get to see it. Sometimes you see me liking them, so thank you so much. We try to put together a really great show for you every day. All right. Man, do I got a good one for you. I even told my wife. So a little bit about me, right? I'm inside. My wife gets in. She always has a busy day. She comes in. She got me a pub sub from the local Publix. And I'm like, you got to sit down and watch this show. I'm like, I have some video from Diamond and Silk at a congressional hearing today that's going to blow your mind. She's like, tell me about it. I'm like, I can't. You've got to watch this. All right, so let me set this up for you first. Diamond and Silk are two female black conservatives. They're Trump supporters. They're very entertaining. They put on a good show. They're frequent cable news guests. And I've met them. I guess we have to do disclosures now, but they've never done any legal deals for me. But I've met them. I shook both their hands. I met them at a party a couple times, and they were super nice. So the backstory is there were some allegations that their Facebook page, because they are Trump supporters, was being kind of throttled a bit, that they were being withheld from complete viewership to their audience. You get what I'm saying. Facebook was kind of holding them back. In response to some of those allegations, Facebook sent an email that their stuff was deemed unsafe for the community. Now, Facebook apparently says they've rectified the situation now, but Diamond and Silk went up to Capitol Hill today. Oh, this is good. To testify about what happened to them. Let me just quickly play for you their opening statement. It's about 45 seconds, so you get a little bit of a flavor for what happened, and then we'll get into the good stuff.
We would like to thank the Judiciary Committee for allowing us the opportunity to voice our concerns about conservatives being targeted and censored on social media platforms. Facebook, along with other social media sites, have taken aggressive actions to silence conservative voices such as ourselves by deliberately restricting and weaponizing our page with algorithms that censor and suppress our free speech. Subtle and slowly, Facebook used one mechanism at a time to diminish our reach by restricting our page so that our 1.2 million followers would not see our content, thus silencing our conservative voices. When we reached out to Facebook for an explanation, they gave us the runaround.
Okay, now, this is where this thing gets super spicy. So, Hank Johnson, who's a Democrat congressman, we're going to get to some of his video in a moment. I've got some really great stuff on Hank Johnson. Some of you already know what I'm going to. I know, I can see, I can almost feel your dragon energy through the screen, to quote Kanye West, right? I know you know where I'm going with this Hank Johnson stuff. But Hank Johnson, noted intellect up on the Hill, then decides he's going to try to, break down and attack Diamond and Silk. Watch this back and forth. This is one of the greatest pieces of video since the invention of the moving image. I don't think I've seen anything better. Check this back and forth out.
The point I'm trying to make is you all have been bashing Facebook and you've been making a ton of money. Isn't that correct?
No.
Excuse me, no.
Wait a minute, hold up. Unsafe to the community.
You've not been making a ton of money based on your bashing of Facebook?
No. We didn't bash Facebook. What we did was we brought it to the light on how Facebook has been censoring conservative voices like ourselves for 6 months, 29 days, 5 hours, 43 minutes, and 40 seconds. That's what they did. Facebook censored our free speech.
Stop. Time out. Let me just tell you, listen, I lost my races for Congress, thank God. I thank the Lord every day I'm not up there on the Hill. But I can tell you I'm a relatively good judge by looking into a man's eyes, even through a video screen, of those moments. Hank Johnson right now is like, uh-oh. I thought they were going to get bulldozed, these two, and they start fighting back. Hey, you made money off Facebook? Keep in mind, this guy's entire livelihood is lying to people up on Capitol Hill and manipulating them, making them believe liberal ideas are actually A-OK. He gets paid, what, $175,000 a year of your money, and he's knocking Diamond and Silk because people voluntarily pay to see some of their stuff on Facebook, and he's putting them on the spot? This is a joke. Don't forget. I've got some Hank Johnson, a highlight from him coming in a minute. You're not going to want to mess either. This guy is a noted intellect up on the Hill, and I say that with a big wink and a nod. Play the video.
And shame on the ones that don't even see that we have been censored. Yet, when the Black Lives Matter people complain about it, oh, everybody is up in arms. Let me just say this here. If the shoe was on the other foot and Mark Zuckerberg was a conservative and we were liberals, oh, all fences and all chains would have broke loose. You know it and I know it. But what I find appalling is that these Democrats...
T.O., red flag. Yes! Amen. She's absolutely right. I don't know her first name. I think it's Lynette. I just know her as Diamond and Silk. Lynette, it's Lynette, right? Thank you, producer Denise. That's why Denise is there. They call that like the VOG, voice of God. She speaks in my ear and information magically appears. Yes, good for you. She speaks up. You know damn well, Hank Johnson, that if they were in fact Democrats and Zuckerberg was a prominent conservative, you would be losing your mind about censorship. You would be talking about net neutrality. You'd be talking about waterboarding Mark Zuckerberg up on the Hill. That would absolutely be happening. But the fact that they are Trump supporters, it's A-okay. You decide to attack them on the fact that they're making money. Good for you for going up the Capitol Hill, Diamond and Silk, and calling these guys out. All right, let the video go.
They don't want to take up for our voice.
Democrats will be in the street. Right. Democrats will be in the street right now marching and calling him all type of racist.
I'd like to give you a little bit more time. I'd like to give you a little bit more time, but I got to move on. I only got a minute left.
Okay.
But I appreciate you all for your entrepreneurial spirit. And we're giving you a tremendous...
And we want to attain it too. Because that's what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about obtaining the American dream. We are African-American women. If illegal aliens can come over here and build businesses, why can't we? And we were born on this soil. Oh, you don't have a right to silence my voice.
Well, now, I've always heard, though, that diamonds are girls' best...
They are, and they hard, too. And if I got to be hard and be firm with you, I will. You're not going to brush us off and dismiss us like we don't have merit here.
But
these people censors us for no reason. They put limitations on our page for no reason, and that was wrong.
This is the greatest video ever. I can't even contain it. This is the greatest video I've ever seen. He doesn't know what to do. Oh, diamonds. Yeah, because they're hard. He's in a panic now, Johnson. He thought he was going to steamroll him. You know, I'm a member of Congress. They're like, we give exactly zero that you're a member of Congress. You're going to attack us, we're going to fight back. And she brings up a great point. Another big pat on the back to you. Listen, you don't have to be a think tanker to make this. I know the snobs in D.C. They look down on these two women. I've seen the tweets. These are two proud black women making some money, entertaining people, and putting out some of their ideas and supporting a president they love. Good for you. Good for you. Great point they bring up. So let me get this straight, Hank. You're for unfettered illegal immigration, forking over our taxpayer dollars to people who violate our laws, but God forbid two women go on Facebook, produce content people want and get paid for it? That's your beef? Hank, you got to be kidding me, man. Seriously? You walked into the lion's den, man, and you had no idea what was coming for you. Now, Hank Johnson, noted intellect on Capitol Hill. My wife's been looking forward to this. She hasn't seen this before. Let me play for you a little video of Hank Johnson. By the way, this is not a joke. I'm serious. I have to say that this video is so disturbing in an IQ way. Like, you will be dumber after you watch it. I'm warning you now. So you may want to take some fish oil, some vitamin E. Tell you what, this is vitamin B12. I'm going to take a little squirt so I can maybe protect my brain cells from this. Because this is one of the dumbest videos you are ever going to see in your life. But this is real. This is Hank Johnson questioning a military officer years ago about the danger of Guam tipping over. I swear to you, this is real. We did not doctor this. This is actual video of the same guy who's questioning Diamond and Silk about making money on Facebook. Play this video.
No, this is a island that at its widest level is, what, 12 miles from shore to shore, and at its smallest level, or smallest location, it's 7 miles between one shore and the other. Is that correct?
I don't have the exact dimensions, but to your point, sir, I think Guam is a small island.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that.
That's Palm Beach. But is that going to tip over too? There's a lot of buildings over there. We better be careful. Denise, you better get a new video. It can tip over. This video now, I don't know if you see it moving. NRATV, we're getting all fancy now. The water moves a little bit now. You see that? That may tip over. We better make a still picture before those buildings knock the island down. That's real video from the same guy. You know, when I was a Secret Service agent, we used to go out golfing with, well, not personally, but we'd go out protecting Bill Clinton once in a while when he golfed. And he had this thing when he golfed, right? If he was golfing with you and you shanked it, and then you fired a bomb on the next one, it was a really good shot off the tee, he'd say, same guy, same guy. That's the same guy. He thinks Guam's going to tip over. It's going to tip over if you put too many people on it. This guy's a member of Congress. This guy's legislating your life away. You're paying this guy. A guy who thinks Guam is going to tip over if too many people are on it. Folks, that was not the Babylon Bee. It wasn't the Onion. That's real. That actually happened in the real world. Did you see the military officer's face? He's sitting there like, I can't use the Lord's name in vain, but he's like, please, please tell me this isn't happening. How do I answer this guy's question without recognizing he's a complete imbecile? What do I say right now? He's looking like, is this a joke? Are they setting me? You know what he's waiting for? He's waiting for the candid camera guys to pop out of the back. You thought that was a real question, but it was real. It was real. Oh. You know, I wanted to get out of that segment, but I can't. I can't get enough of that. We got to like put that up as a permanent thing on the NRATV for my show. We can refer back to that all the time when we need some comic relief. All right, moving on. I got a lot more to get to. Hey, one more just to wrap that up, because this is important. On a very serious note, I am very concerned about the attacks on black conservatives. It's a whole other topic. We'll save that for another day. But I know we started off today a little lighter stuff, being sarcastic. That is real, but like I said, I'm not making up. That wasn't a joke. That really happened. But attacking Diamond and Silk, I don't think the attacks would be as vicious. And we don't play identity politics here. The attacks on black conservatives are an outgrowth of the left's fascination with identity politics. In other words, if you're black and you're leftist, you're viewed only through a political lens. We don't do that as conservatives. The melanin component of your skin to us is meaningless. We care about what's in your heart, what's in your soul, what's in your mind. The left doesn't. They're obsessed with the color of your skin only. And if the color of your skin happens to be darker than mine and you happen to espouse a conservative thought or support this president, you're to be crushed at every opportunity. Don't think for a second these vicious attacks on these two ladies weren't inspired by that. Not for a second. You'd be doing yourself a disservice. All right. Now for one of my favorite segments. We haven't seen one of these in a while. Let's go to liberals versus liberals. I've got some faces. If you get still shots of those, it's probably like comical me, right? I got this contortionist thing going with my face. I got this idea from Grant again today, so major hat tip to my buddy Grant Stinchfield. But he played some audio earlier of Jim Acosta. Now, let me be clear again, because we're all into disclosure now in the media, apparently. Unless you're a liberal, then you don't have to disclose anything, especially if you're CNN and you have a lawyer in court trying to get information on a conservative talk show host. You don't have to put out that at all, but you should bash the conservative talk show host for not disclosing stuff. Kind of ironic how that goes down. Jim Acosta works at CNN. I met Jim before. Again, this isn't one of those like I know people moments. Nobody cares. I don't either. But he was always nice to me in green rooms. I've never really gone after him on Twitter or anything like that. And I don't like to make it overly personal in these cases. Well, sometimes I do. But this is some of the dumbest audio I've ever heard. And I'm sorry. I think Jim needs to be called out on this because now he's trying to backtrack. One, he insults Trump supporters, but he debates himself. That's why he's in the liberals versus liberals segment today. Let's play this first cut first and establish what he's trying to say and how he contradicts himself just seconds later in another cut.
My concern is that that a journalist is going to be hurt one of these days. Somebody's going to get hurt. And at that point, you know, the White House, the President of the United States, they're going to have to take a hard look in the mirror and ask themselves whether or not they played a role in this, whether they created this toxic environment that resulted in a journalist getting hurt. And the moment that a journalist gets hurt in the United States of America because of rhetoric coming from the President of the United States, we have suddenly become something less than the United States.
So, let me be clear, Jim, what you're saying here. And again, in this case, I feel an obligation to try and be fair at what he's trying to get across. I believe what he's trying to get across in that, and we didn't manipulate that audio, is that harsh rhetoric directed at the press, who, by the way, entirely deserve it. They've done nothing but report fake news, a good portion of them, especially CNN, inventing this fake Russian collusion story for a long time. I think it's entirely appropriate for the president and other people as well, when they see instances of fake news, to call it as it is. You're a journalist and you're not reporting the facts, you're reporting your opinion, an opinion based on no facts, then yes, you deserve to be called out. If that hurts your delicate sensibilities, too bad, so sad. I don't know what to tell you. But it seems that Jim's premise in this, in that little shot we had there, that sound piece, was that harsh rhetoric is no good. Harsh rhetoric directed at the press is going to cause a situation where people may attack the press violently. Folks, listen. You're responsible for your own actions, okay? If a couple tweets and some rhetoric directed at you, you think it's going to inspire some kind of an attack, then get off Twitter. You call us at CNN and other places. You've allowed on your network people to call us the most horrendous things. We would not blame you if someone, God forbid, attacked us. Now, it's not good that you do that, but it's not your fault, the actions of other people. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't allow that kind of stuff. But, you know, it happens. People are responsible for their own actions. But just to be clear, Acosta's saying harsh rhetoric. Let me make this real simple for the liberals to show you how they debate themselves. Harsh rhetoric against the press, no good, could result in violence. Everybody copy me here because I want to make this real simple for Acosta then. Harsh rhetoric, no good. Harsh rhetoric against the press could inspire violence. Now, this is the same interview. Look at the comments he makes about Trump supporters as he's bashing people about harsh rhetoric against the press as if they're some protected class.
But the problem is that people around the country don't know it's an act. They're not in on the act. And they take what he says very seriously. And they take attacks from Sean Spicer and Sarah Sanders and what they do to us on a daily basis very seriously. They don't have all their faculties in some cases. Their elevator might not hit all floors.
What is it? Which one is it? Is it harsh rhetoric is no good, you shouldn't do it because it's going to inspire violence, while you simultaneously say, oh, you Trump supporters, your elevator doesn't go to the top floor and you don't have all your faculties? Wait, you just told us a minute ago how harsh rhetoric is a really bad thing, we should all be more responsible, and then in the same interview, you're talking about how Trump supporters are a bunch of idiots. Well, I'll quote you exactly. The elevator doesn't go to the top floor, which is a journalist's way of saying you're an idiot. I don't get it. Which one is it? Guys, ladies, the double standard out there is absurd. We've seen this before. We saw it with the tragic shooting of Gabby Giffords, where Sarah Palin was blamed in one of the most disgusting episodes I've ever seen printed in a newspaper. In an op-ed piece, Sarah Palin was blamed. She has nothing to do with this at all. Zero. She had simply, for a PAC, a political action committee she was raising money for, had placed a pictogram of a bullseye over a district. That's done all over. The bullseye picture is used all over the place for everything. She had nothing to do with the Gabby Giffords shooting at all. Zero. Less than zero. And yet in major newspapers, opinion pieces were written pinning the blame on her. Disgraceful. Now, what's the double standard? Folks, I don't know if you remember, but on this baseball field we had in Virginia, practice about a year ago for the congressional baseball game, we had a Bernie Sanders-loving supporter show up and try to mow down multiple members of Congress, shot Steve Scalise numerous times. Thankfully, Steve Scalise survived. This was a far-left Bernie Sanders supporter. You know, unlike left-leaning journalists who did that to Sarah Palin, we're not going to repeat that mistake here. I'm not on my show, ever. This guy was a maniac. He's responsible for his own actions. Bernie Sanders was not responsible for the actions of this psychopath. I wish leftists would stick with the principles and standards as well, and not one standard for your guys and another standard for everyone else. This is why people don't trust you. You're entirely dishonest. And that video of Acosta, again, I don't mind this guy personally. I've never had any beef with him. I'm not going to lie to you to get hyperbolic and all, excited and start screaming. He's never been mean to me personally. He's actually been a pretty nice guy. But that's really dumb. Harsh rhetoric against us. No, that's catastrophic. And then, by the way, you guys are all idiots and your elevator doesn't go to the top floor. Come on. And by the way, he tried to correct the statement later on. It's a weak correction at best. And I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I think he meant exactly what he said. We played the video for you. All right. This is a really sad story, folks, and it really epitomizes what we do here primarily. South America, this is an epic human tragedy. I'm not just talking about what's going on in Venezuela with their lurch towards socialism. The crime rates in South America are off the charts. Look at this headline from The Guardian. By the way, a left-leaning outlet. Breathtaking homicidal violence. Latin America in grip of a murder crisis. This is a real human tragedy, folks. The people can't defend themselves there. You have high levels of poverty in some of these countries. You have epidemic levels of poverty in Venezuela, where the big government socialists have taken over, where people are eating dogs and pigeons. You think I'm making that up, by the way? For effect? Google it yourself. Socialists take over, starvation happens next. Socialism has a 100% success record of failure. They fail every time. 100%. They succeed at failing every single time. Now, Brazil has implemented over time some very harsh gun control laws. Now, gun control is I hate using that statement because there's no such thing as gun control. Guns aren't controlled. It's a myth. Criminals get them whenever they want. But they have enacted very strict firearms laws in Brazil. I want you to listen to this small piece. This is an interview our own Chuck Holton did down in Rio with a resident there talking about how basically they're sheep who get preyed on by criminals who don't give a crap about gun laws.
We don't have the choice to protect ourselves, especially living in this place, so we are totally dependent on the government. Look at statistics, you can see all of those countries where people have the right to carry a gun to protect themselves. Those places are actually very peaceful. But here, we don't have the right to protect ourselves. I don't think a thief, a drug dealer, will turn his guns in. The day we all are able to protect ourselves, we're going to be better here.
Sad. Sad, folks. That's tough to watch. That's tough to hear. These people are sheep, not willingly. You can't stare down the barrel of a firearm a criminal gets without any problem at all. And then what are you going to do? What are you going to put? It's not the Three Stooges. You don't put your finger in the barrel. This is real, folks. These are people fighting for their lives down there. They've been disarmed by a government that has them looking like sheep and acting like sheep because they have no other choice. Let me just leave it with this because I want to get to my last story. Criminals don't care about gun laws. They don't give a damn about your gun laws. I remember my time as a police officer and a federal agent. I never arrested anyone who had a gun legally. I'm sure it happens out there. I've never seen it. I've never even heard of anyone who did it. The criminals we arrested got their guns illegally, while the people they preyed upon were disarmed by very strict New York City gun laws that let very few people carry. Criminals don't care about gun laws. Matter of fact, in my time with the NYPD, when I used to interview people in the cells, they used to put me in the cells once in a while because I was, it's a long story, but I was in graduate school and I was tired a lot. So they put me in the cells. I would go down and interview people arrested for CPW, criminal possession of a weapon. And some of them told me they loved gun laws because they know they're preying on an unarmed citizenry. Maybe not as eloquent as that, but that's the gist of what they said most of the time. They don't mind gun laws one bit. They know you won't be armed, and they will. All right, for my final thoughts of the day, this one, this is great. Put up that graphic. You guys did a great job on this, about these college campus kids. Is that the Gerber baby? Look at that. Poor kid. I feel bad for that kid a little bit. Especially if they stuck him on a college campus with these snowflakes. That kid could probably show him something. Listen, I have to kind of mess with this a little bit. Because I'm upset about this thing with Ronnie Jackson. But you say, what does that have to do with liberals? I'm going to get to that. First, this is a real story about a cry closet in it. That we're not making this up, just like we didn't make up the Hank Johnson thing. There's a cry closet in the library at an institution of higher learning, so snowflakes who are upset about whatever, microaggressions, failing a test, getting turned down by a woman or a man or whatever, they can go in the cry closet. Come on, Denise, that's not real. Did you guys make this up? You're setting me up on it. I said to her before the show, you swear that I can't believe this is real. I am on the air saying, I cannot believe this is real. You're promising me this is real. They have teddy bears in there? Oh, foreign countries have to be watching this and going, attack right now. They'll all go to the cry closet with the teddy bears. This is really happening. She swears to me those are real pictures. Denise said those are real. That really happened. Support animals. You got a headline about that. The college support. They got support animals like support lizards and hamsters and stuff like that. Puppies in the classroom. Emotional support. Oh, I sent this one over. That's right. Emotional support proliferated. Yeah, Yale. These are the smartest kids in the country, supposedly. They're walking around with emotional support animals. Oh my gosh. Head, desk, please. I'm glad I took that B12 spray. Maybe my brain cells will be protected. Between Hank Johnson and this, I am seriously 20 IQ points dumber after this show. Why am I bringing this up in regards to Ronnie Jackson? Ronnie Jackson, of course, was the VA nominee for the cabinet secretary position by Donald Trump. I went into the other day how I know Ronnie. He's a great guy. His character was destroyed. Character was destroyed by people looking to take down Trump. But the reason I bring it up is because one of the things that was controversial, air quotes, about Ronnie Jackson was supposedly that he gave some sleeping pills and some Provigil to people overseas. There's Ronnie, good man, a patriot. Let me tell you something, snowflakes. Get out of your closet, your cry closet, and put your teddy bears down for a minute. Listen to what happens in the real world. Hard men and women, badass SOBs like Ronnie Jackson and others who wear the uniform, go overseas every day with the threat of losing their lives in defense of yours, defending that flag and wrapping themselves in our colors to defend the mission of the United States. If they can't get to sleep because they're in a foreign hot zone, I don't give a rat's ass, and neither should you, if they take an Ambien sometimes to get up the next day and kick the ass of the enemy. That's only a problem in a cry closet on a snowflake college campus where you're hugging your teddy bears. I better wrap that one up before it gets, because I'm really annoyed by this story. You get where I'm going with that? Maybe I'll go off on Twitter a little bit after the show. All right, unfortunately, I got to wrap this up because Dana comes up, as you know, right after my show. Follow us on Twitter, at Dan Bongino. Make sure you follow at NRATV too. Thanks for spreading our stuff around on social media. We appreciate it. Stay tuned for Relentless with Dana Lash.